Hello, my babes. Welcome back to my channel, the Self-Love Template. I am fixing to film another video today. This is Beard. I guess you guys should meet him. Now's as good of a time as any. This is my little boop, my little bloop. Beard. Oh, he's got some stuff on his belly. We just went on a hike, so I think he's got some barnacles or something on him. But yeah, this is Beard. He's my 3-year-old Scottish Terrier. He is definitely a device in my life for teaching me about love and about unconditional love and just how you want a relationship to be, right? You want somebody to be there for you through thick and through thin, and he is literally so loyal, aren't you? He's so loyal. Hold on, look at him. Look at the camera. You have to look at everybody there. Look, say hi. Hi. But yeah, he's literally such a sweetheart, and he teaches me a lot about love. It was a big part of why I got him, was because I wanted to commit myself to, well, I mean, he's someone, right? He's not a person, but he's definitely someone to me. So I wanted to commit myself to someone the way I had wanted to be committed to in my life, and I figured it would teach me about commitment overall, commitment to another being, commitment to another person, commitment to myself, which is the most important thing, as we're learning here on this channel. Look at this face, though. Oh, look at that face. My goodness, he is such a little love muffin. And yeah, he's taught me so much about love. He is just the best, the most patient, the most loyal, the sweetest. He is such a good boy. So that's Beard. But for this video, what I wanted to talk about was needing people, specifically romantic partners, needing them to do things for you. Because the truth is that you don't need anybody to do anything for you. It can feel like you do. It can feel like, we're in relationships to get our needs met sometimes. I feel like that's kind of sold to us through programming and magazines and movies and things like that. But the reality is that you are meeting your own needs and then you come into a connection bringing yourself completely fulfilled, and whatever the person then contributes to you is just icing on top of the cake. Your cake is already, honestly, baked and iced. You could just call whatever the other person's giving you decoration. It's just augmenting what you are already capable of doing on your own. It's really important for you to figure out how to meet your own needs. It's really important for us to fill our own cup. And when our cup is full, then we're overflowing and we're able to give more to our partner or to our friends or to our family, our pets, it doesn't matter. It's you being your own source of everything. Your own source of life, pretty much your own source of love. Sorry, the sun just went behind a cloud or something like that. So now my lighting schematic is messed up, but it's okay. We're gonna keep rolling. As you know, we do it raw and vulnerable here on the self-love template. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about, that you think you need this other person to give you certain things, to meet certain needs for you. But really, you're the one who's giving them to yourself. And when you don't, then you're willing to accept them from anybody who's coming along randomly to give you those things. You're like, ooh, yeah, like my cup is so empty that it feels good to be love bombed. It feels good to be receiving all of this attention. It feels good to be receiving all of this validation, all of this approval, when really you need to be the one who's love validating of yourself, approving of yourself, appreciating yourself. This is like a lot of what self-love is about. It's not just like bubble baths and self-care and things like that. Although those are part of it. Like, pampering yourself is certainly a part of it, but the biggest part of it is to just be your own wellspring of life. Being able to speak life into yourself, even when there's nobody around you to do that for you. You have to be able to do that for yourself. So I think the bigger point, though, is that when you are empty, you do accept it from any old person, and that is just not ideal, because then that's how we end up tolerating things that are way beneath us or way beneath the standard that we should be upholding for ourselves anyways. And that's a lot of what this whole self-love journey has taught me, is about raising my standards for myself, for my relationships in my life, for my work, everything, you name it. It's just having a standard of excellence that you are willing to meet yourself, and then anybody that you're letting into your life is also going to be required to meet that same standard. And if they don't, it's going to be a lot easier to walk away. It's going to be a lot easier to forget about that person. It's going to be a lot easier to move on, and just also have the faith that someone completely better for you is out there and is going to reciprocate that level of love, appreciation, validation, admiration, everything. All of it they're going to reflect that level of self-love that you have for yourself back to you. And if they don't, your boundaries are going to be in place and strong for you to say, no, I don't want that. No, this doesn't match what I want. No, this doesn't feel good. No, I'm compromising. No, I'm settling. No, I'm abandoning myself. That's a big one that we'll get into in another topic, another video. But yeah, so again, the opposite is your cup is so empty that you're then willing to just have your cup filled by people who are maybe just telling you what they think you want to hear. I think love bombing is a huge one. I think we've all been through that with at least one guy, if not multiple guys, and it's always the same thing. It's like they have their wounds, we have our wounds. That's why they're love bombing in the first place, and that's why we're willing to go there and accept it and think that it means something, rather than being prudent and discerning and observing this other person and how they're behaving and what they're doing, and building trust, building friendship before we're just jumping into the sack with someone. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. I think a lot of women, not all, I mean, many women, a lot of women, however you want to look at it, we can sometimes feel like, oh, if I put myself out there, then I'm going to get love in return. And it's never that way. It's like for reasons that I'm not going to get into on this video, and it's kind of like out of the realm of what I want to cover on the self-love template, but it's never going to be that way. You prioritizing yourself and honoring yourself and being really cautious about how you put yourself out there and who you put yourself out there to, that is going to make all the difference in terms of protecting yourself from men and situations who would otherwise take advantage of you. And I mean, everybody's different, so if your thing is to have flings or whatever, then by all means, go there. I've had my fair share of flings, enough to know that I don't like them. They are just not what I want. They don't match what I want on any level whatsoever. What I want is connection. What I want is emotional connection. I want recognition by the other person. I want to see the other person just as much as I want them to see me, meaning recognition, meaning discernment, like looking at a person, a guy in this case, and just understanding them as a full entity, you know? Soup to nuts. Who are they? How are they? What are they about? You know, I want to be recognized for all of those things too, and I don't ever want to be objectified ever again. I've been objectified by a lot of men, and the bottom line is that I allowed them to treat me that way. And I even said in my last video how I've actually felt even more objectified in the last 2 relationships that I had than I did in like my entire life. So I think that we have to admit to ourselves when we are allowing ourselves to be treated certain ways, and when we're not giving to ourselves the things that we need, and when we're fooling ourselves and thinking that it's someone else's job to give us those things. It doesn't mean that you can't have needs in a relationship. In any relationship, whether that's friends, family, romantic, whatever, you are going to end up meeting your counterpart's needs, whether that's your partner or, again, friends, family, whatever. It doesn't matter. You will end up meeting each other's needs, but it's when you desperately need it, when you're lacking it, when you're completely incapable, I think that's the key word, incapable of doing it for yourself in the first place. Like, if you're completely incapable of feeling beautiful without some man giving you validation or telling you that you're beautiful, you're going to suffer. You're going to hurt. You're going to have a bad time. If you can't know in and of yourself that you're lovable, that you're worthy, that you're valuable, that you matter, and you need a man to give you the approval that would go along with you understanding these things about yourself, then you're screwed. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You're completely screwed. You have to know these things for yourself, first and foremost, or you will end up tolerating bare minimum or less than bare minimum types of guys and the treatment that they give to you as a result of that. And maybe they're going to tell you that stuff in the beginning, but you're going to doubt yourself at a certain point once you catch feelings and stuff like that. And then because everyone's a mirror, they're just going to eventually reflect that back to you anyways. How much you dislike yourself, how much you need validation outside of yourself rather than from within yourself, how much you don't approve of yourself, or maybe like your looks, your body image, your personality, whatever other characteristics or traits. It really doesn't matter. We all struggle with different things. We all struggle with different combinations of things. We all there's people who may struggle with all of these things. I know I've struggled at some point with many of the things that I just listed. And yeah, I mean, it's incredibly important for you to really look at how you're valuing yourself, how you're showing up for yourself, how you are prioritizing yourself and your life and your responsibilities, the things that hold your life together and make it worth living. You are the one responsible to fill your own cup. It's nobody else's job. And when you desperately need that from a man or a partner, and you feel like you're lacking that in your life, it's just going to reflect back to you at a certain point. And it's, again, the quality of the relationship will diminish, or in general, the quality of the people who you are attracted to or who you are attracting into your life, that diminishes as well. The less you know that you are valuable, lovable, worthy, you matter, you're beautiful, you're funny, you're talented, intelligent, whatever it is that you doubt about yourself, the less you know those things and the more you doubt those things, it's just going to get reflected back to you. So you have to sit with yourself and really take stock and ownership over that and try to bolster that up. So what does that look like? I mean, for me, it was a journaling practice where I had a lot of different prompts that were forcing me to look at myself and how I viewed myself, and then look at the deficiencies within those perspectives that I held of myself and just sit with it. I mean, for the first long while, it was just realizing, like, oh my God, yeah, I have a very low opinion of myself. I really don't like myself. Like I said in my last video, a lot of it was just having the realization that these feelings were there and just sitting with them and just letting them be there and just letting them run their course through me. And I mean, it took me years, realistically years, and different layers that had to get peeled back. And in some cases, my friends were the ones helping me peel back those layers. I remember that I had one really quite heated conversation with one of my best friends where I was so angry at something that my partner was not doing for me, and I felt so deeply and strongly that I just did not matter to him. And while that was definitely true for me, my feelings were valid. I felt like I didn't matter to him. What my friend helped me to realize was that the vehemence with which I was feeling those feelings proved that it wasn't just me thinking that I didn't matter to him. It was me just feeling overall like I didn't matter. Because here's the rub. Like, if I knew that I mattered, in spite of what he did or did not feel about me, or was not doing for me, or whatever, then I would have just been able to say, you know what? I don't want to be treated this way. I don't want to be treated like I don't matter. I want to matter to someone. And so I'm going to just exit from this situation. I'm going to just calmly tell him, I don't like how you're treating me. It feels like I don't matter to you. And if that's the case, then I don't want anything to do with this situation. And I would have just moved on. But again, when our cup is empty, it's what enables us to tolerate and sit around and wait for people to change. And, you know, a note on that I kind of wanted to add too is that, again, I don't think that people just can't change. I definitely think people can change. I know people can change because I myself have changed immensely in my life. And I've always said, like, if I can change, anyone can change. Literally, anyone can change. If I can change through all the things that I've literally overcome and transformed my thinking and feelings and just everything. I mean, I've been through so much in my life, and I do plan to share a lot of that kind of stuff on this channel. But like, the point is that if I can change through all of the things that I've been through, then I just know that anyone is capable of changing. But when you're in a relationship or you're with a guy or in a situationship or whatever it is, and you want him to change so badly, and you stay and try to like force and manipulate and cajole and connive and convince and orchestrate and all these just like tacky things, the only one who's really suffering is you. Like, yes, in turn you're making this person suffer because you're trying to force something that just isn't currently happening. You're not rooted in the reality of the situation, which is that it's not happening at this moment. Doesn't mean it can't ever happen. It's just not happening right now. And what I've learned in my life is that you can give time and space for someone to change. And if they're really going to change, then they will, and you'll know, and they will come back around. Like, everyone, I think, spirals back around. Like, I do look at life like that, like a continuum that's, you know, it's like a spiral where it's getting bigger and more expansive the more go-arounds that you have. So maybe you're not always going to come back to the same exact people or whatever, but you'll come back to the same scenarios for sure, the same circumstances. And you can look at it like tests or whatever, but to me, I just look at it like, again, like this continuum of experience that we're all on, and people are just reflecting yourself back to you. They're reflecting versions of yourself back to you, and then maybe you resonate with certain things at certain points in your life, but you don't at others. So I've just learned in my life that you can give people time and space to change, and either they'll change or they won't, and they'll come back around, and you will know. Again, like, the most important person to change is you. You know, I always use the Neville Goddard quote of no one to change but self, because I believe that. I believe it is 100% true that everything you're experiencing and how you experience it and how you respond to it and react to it is a function of your interior landscape, of your interior world, or what Neville refers to as the inner man. So you can give this other person time and space to change. They will or they won't. They will come back around. Or you may change so much and be so far beyond consciously, like, because of the work that you do within yourself, that maybe they don't ever come back. And, you know, when you find yourself in a space where you're okay with that, you'll really know that you've totally changed. Totally changed. And it goes back to the beginning of this video and what I was trying to say about not needing anything from anyone. So you can give time and space to change, and why would you want to sit there and have to be subjected to butting heads with whatever the current reality is between you and this significant other, or like even if it's not a romantic sexual thing and it's like a friend or a loved one, whatever. Like, you can just give that person time and space to change. The time's gonna go by anyways. The person is gonna go on living and being who they are and figuring things out for themselves, you know? So you can just then go do you in a completely separate corner of the universe. Like, meaning, just live your life. Just keep working on you. Keep changing you. Test the validity of that, which is so true. I'm just telling you, like, I've had it so many times where, I mean, I've had at least, let me think, 1, 2, 3, like 3 guys, if not more. I'm gonna just like wrangle it to the recent past, and for me, there's like 3 guys who I wanted them to change like so badly, and I would have given anything for them to change. Like, if you would have asked me in the thick of my situations with them, my relationships with them, I would have just been desperate for it. Like, I just would have wanted them to change so bad. I would have given like my left foot for them to change into what I wanted them to embody. But the more I changed me, I mean, it is true, and it's not going to be fun for some of you to hear this, but like, the more I changed, the less I wanted these men, because they were not reflecting the current version of me anymore, and therefore there wasn't a resonance, and I didn't find it attractive anymore, and that was huge for me, because it was an end to the suffering that I had of just wanting this person to change so much that I was just abandoning myself over and over and over again in the process of wishing so badly. And it wasn't even wishing, it was just coming from a place of total and complete lack, where it's like I'm pining for this thing. And you know, I realized at a certain point in the beginning of my healing trajectory, that deep within that pining and that longing is an inherent belief that this just isn't going to work out for me. I've already doubted it. Like, if you want something so bad, and even if you're like with someone and you're in a secure relationship with them, but you have like weird trust issues or something like that, like, you wanting this person so bad to the point where you're willing to feel icky, weird things over it, it just is a red flag. It's a giant red flag to you that you don't have good faith in this situation, that you don't have good beliefs in this situation. You don't believe in this person, you don't believe in the connection, you don't, you know, obviously you don't trust them. That's huge in and of itself. You know, you don't trust yourself. Because again, if you really trusted yourself, if you really had strong self-love, strong boundaries, strong self-acknowledgement and self-appreciation, you would just know that, okay, like things are good for now, and if it ever reaches a point where things are not good, I'm in control enough of my own self and my own world, my own life, my own mind, etc., to just walk away. I know I'll be all right with or without this person, you know? And a lot of people just don't know that. And they don't know it because they don't know themselves, you know? And you really have to know yourself if you want to play this game of being in these relational equations where we're having these reflexive and reflective interactions and connections with people. It's just the bottom line. There's no other way around it. To thine own self be true, right? Plotinus, Shakespeare. Know thyself, right? Like, these are maxims that historically man has ontologically functioned by, and it's for a reason, because the most important relationship that you have is with you. It's a hot take, but I'm here to let you know. Even above your relationship with God. Because if you don't know who you are, then how are you bringing yourself to all of these relationships? Whether it is with God or if it is with a romantic partner, a wife, a husband, a friend, a child, sister, brother, whatever. If you don't know who you are, how are you even bringing yourself to these situations? You're just, you're bringing somebody, but you're not bringing the crux of who you are. You're not bringing the total, refined, crystal clear truth of you at any given time of your life, right? Because we're also always changing. So I feel really far away from where we first began, but I feel like it's all related. So you don't need anyone to do anything for you. And the more you can get that through your head, even though it feels really radical in the beginning, the freer you're going to be. And it doesn't mean that you become this weird, isolative person, right? Like Blake said, no man is an island. I don't believe in isolating myself or not interacting with people. We're social creatures, and I love people. I love everyone in my life. I think they're just the most beautiful, fabulous people alive. You know, whoever it is that comes into my cipher of experience, I just absolutely love and adore them. But I don't need anything from anybody anymore at this point in my life. And it took me a really long time to get here. And so it may feel like you need your partner to do XYZ things. But if you really take a good hard look at what you're not doing for yourself, chances are you're going to find that your cup is empty, and because of that, you're unduly searching for things in the exterior plane that you could just be giving yourself through your own relationship with yourself, through your own identification with your own heart. So ponder that between now and when we talk again. I'm sending you so much love and light, my babes, and here's to your journey. I'm so happy to be here alongside you, and please feel free to like, the video, comment anything that you want to talk about, and share with other women who you think could benefit from the stuff that we're trying to talk about on here. All right, until next time, love you guys so much.